There are things a man only realizes when they start to affect his ego, his confidence, and even his relationship. The erection that used to be firm now lacks strength, or worse, doesn't happen at all. And behind this are hidden enemies you may have never considered. A common mistake made by millions of men every day is leaving the penis soft, and many don't even know it. The longer time goes by, the harder it is to regain control. I'm Laura, a urologist, and I closely follow the silent suffering of many men who carry this burden in both body and mind. But it doesn't have to stay that way. The loss of rigidity has a solution once you understand what's really going on. In this video, I'll show you why your erection is getting weaker over time, and most importantly, what you can start doing right now to turn things around naturally, safely, and effectively. If you're interested in health and quality of life tips focused on men over 50, make sure to subscribe to this channel where you stay updated with everything that can truly make a difference in your day-to-day life. If you found this topic important, tap the like button. It helps this content reach other men who also need this information. And I want to hear from you. Did you like the topic? Type 1 in the comments. Got a suggestion? Type 0. Your feedback helps me create more useful videos for you. It all starts subtly. One day you notice it took longer to wake up down there. The next, the firmness isn't the same. Then comes the thought it must be tiredness. But it's not just that. The body gives signs and they don't always come in the form of pain. Sometimes it's a weak erection with no apparent reason, but there is a reason. And often it's on your plate, on your couch, or in your ashtray. Ultra-processed foods loaded with sugar and unhealthy fats clog your blood vessels and reduce circulation. And it's circulation that brings blood to the penis. If the blood doesn't arrive with strength, the erection won't be firm. Smoking, on the other hand, destroys the elasticity of the vessels and disrupts oxygen levels. Excess alcohol numbs the brain and sabotages control, and being sedentary is the final push. It weakens the body, drops testosterone, and reduces desire. The combination of these habits causes a silent erosion of potency. It doesn't happen overnight, but it slowly chips away at your confidence and performance. And the worst part, many only realize it when the damage is already done. There are men who eat well, work out, don't smoke or drink, and still when it matters most, they feel their body doesn't respond. When that happens, it's worth looking inside your head. Stress and anxiety act silently but powerfully. They affect the nervous system, block the mind, and interrupt the arousal flow. And without arousal, the body can't activate the expected response. Chronic stress causes a constant release of cortisol, the stress hormone. It interferes with testosterone production and alters blood vessel function. The result, blood doesn't circulate as it should, and firmness is compromised. Anxiety, especially performance anxiety, steals focus and pleasure. The man enters the act wondering if he'll manage, if he'll last, if he'll fail. And that thought alone is enough to ruin everything. It's like trying to relax while someone is yelling in your ear. The brain is torn between wanting to enjoy and trying to protect itself. And in that conflict, the erection loses tense mind, body on alert. Nothing works well in that state. If what you've heard so far makes sense and you want to take a deeper step toward reclaiming your potency, I've prepared something special. In my digital book, Rediscovering Intimacy, Healthy Sexuality After 60, I explain in detail how to deal with the blocks that affect your erection, improve your sexual response, and rebuild confidence in your relationship. It's a practical, straightforward guide made especially for men who no longer want to feel trapped by the fear of failure. The link is in the first pinned comment, and it might be the turning point you've been waiting for. Few people realize it, but premature ejaculation can be one of the biggest villains behind loss of firmness. A man enters the act afraid of finishing too soon and starts using improvised tricks, diverting thoughts, holding his breath, pausing, trying to disconnect from pleasure. But by doing that, he's cutting off his own stimulation. And without stimulation, the brain doesn't send pleasure signals and the body can't sustain an erection. the problem turns into a cycle. The more a man tries to hold back, the less present he is in the moment. The mind is busy with control, not arousal. The result, focus and emotional connection vanish, and with them, firmness also fades. On top of that, the frustration of finishing too early creates insecurity, and insecurity, as we've seen, fuels anxiety. Over time, the body starts associating sex with tension, not pleasure. The erection starts to fail, not because of a physical issue, but because the brain has lost the natural rhythm of the sexual response. Pleasure turns into worry, and that always comes at a cost. Trying to solve the issue quickly, many men end up choosing shortcuts that only make things worse. It's common to turn to internet tricks, instant control promises, or even medications taken without guidance. The problem is that these methods don't teach what truly matters: control over your own sexual response. They only mask the symptom without touching the cause. Medication doesn't teach the brain how to handle arousal. Random techniques like thinking about soccer or utility bills might delay ejaculation, but also cut off arousal and weaken the erection. It's like trying to run with a handbrake on. The mind disconnects from pleasure, and the body feels the brake. True control comes from practice and body awareness. It's like learning how to ride a bike. At Shao, first it may seem hard, but with practice, the body learns. And once it learns, it doesn't forget. The man who trains focus, breathes correctly, and understands his own rhythm can transform the sexual experience. He doesn't need tricks. He needs technique, consistency, and patience. Shortcuts only delay progress. The rush to fix things fast often ends up creating an even bigger problem. An erection isn't just a physical reaction. It begins in the brain, gains strength through desire, and is sustained by being present in the moment. When these three elements are aligned, focus, arousal, and surrender, the body responds with firmness. But if one of them fails, the entire system falters. What's most intriguing is that this often happens gradually without the man even realizing it. Focus is the first pillar. Being fully engaged in what's happening without distractions or intrusive thoughts keeps the brain connected to the experience. Arousal is the second. It's not just about visual or physical stimulation. It's about feeling pleasure in what's happening without censorship or judgment. And surrender completes the cycle. It's when the man stops trying to control everything and simply lives the moment with attention and enjoyment. This cycle works like a gear. When it turns naturally, everything flows. But if one part gets stuck, like excessive worry or lack of stimulation, the sexual response loses power. Many men lose firmness not because something is wrong with their body, but because their mind is no longer in tune with the pleasure it should be feeling. When the body stays still for too long, everything slows down, including the sexual response. Blood flows less efficiently, muscles weaken, hormone production drops, and energy fades. An erection depends on all of these working properly. That's why a sedentary lifestyle is a silent enemy of male potency. The opposite is also true. Moving the body regularly sparks the fire that reignites desire. Physical activity improves blood flow, boosts testosterone levels, reduces stress, and stimulates the brain to release chemicals linked to pleasure and well-being. And you don't need to become an athlete. Brisk walks, strength training, or even a light routine already make a difference. What matters is getting the body out of inertia. Movement also gives a man the feeling of being in control of his own body. He feels more energetic, stronger, more alive, and this directly affects self-esteem, which has a big impact on arousal. When a man moves, he's not just taking care of his overall health. He's reactivating sexual energy, regaining firmness, and showing his body it's still ready to live fully. Regaining firmness doesn't take a miracle, but rather a new kind of attitude. Instead of looking for instant fixes, the path lies in reorganizing habits and understanding your own body. The first step is to stop avoiding the problem, denying or pretending everything is fine only delays recovery. The encouraging part is that in most cases, the body responds when a man truly starts taking care of his physical and mental health. Improving your diet, getting active, sleeping well, and managing stress already bring big changes. But when the cause is related to premature ejaculation, the approach needs to be more specific. The key lies in training attention, controlling breathing, and strengthening the connection between brain and stimulation. This can be done through guided methods, retraining programs, and practices that help men regain control over their own rhythm. With time, fear gives way to confidence. The response begins to happen more naturally, and pleasure stops being a concern and returns to being an intense experience. What once seemed like a dead end was actually a warning that something needed to change, and change is possible. The decline in erection over time doesn't happen by chance. As we've seen throughout the video, factors like diet, stress, anxiety, inactivity, and even the fear of ejaculating too soon gradually erode potency. But we've also shown that it's possible to regain control without tricks, without shortcuts through awareness, training, and small changes that bring powerful results. Now, I want to hear from you. Of all the points we discussed, have you ever tried to control ejaculation using home techniques like distracting your thoughts or stopping mid-act? Share your experience in the comments. It helps me understand what's most affecting the men who follow this channel. If this content helped you in any way, click the like button. That lets YouTube know this topic matters and helps the video reach other men going through the same challenges as you. And if you want to keep learning about men's sexual health in a clear, safe, and stigma-free way, check out the other videos here on the channel. There's already a lot of content on erection, libido, ejaculation, and performance. Take the chance and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next.